Hi guys, Paul here. Today I'm going to be doing a video with the soap that was sent to me by Darren Siebert from Soap Commander. Darren had posted a shave of the day in one of the Facebook groups where he used the soap from Stirling soaps called Glastonbury, which is a patchouli based soap, and it's supposed to be reminiscent of a concert venue somewhere in Europe. From the 60s, I guess. And this is a very patchouli heavy soap. I'll just read off the notes in there. It's basically a blend of patchouli, lavender, oak moss, lichen, frankincense, and vetiver. And I will tell you that when I smell this, I definitely get the patchouli. It's a nice dark smoky patchouli, but I also get that kind of piney frankincense in there as well. So it's got kind of a sharp sort of a piney note to it as well. So it's really a great fragrance. I'm really impressed with this, and there's a sample that Darren sent me, and thank you, Darren, very much for sending this sample. This is definitely going to be one I'm going to have to pick up because I'm a big patchouli fan. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I'm going to be using a razor, a straight razor today. And this is the Thiers-Essard razor made for artist shaving, and it's their ram's horn handled one. And I really like this natural horn handle. It's really awesome. And if you go into artist shaving and check them out, that basically every one of them is a little bit different. I've seen some that are darker. This is a little bit lighter one. It does have some dark on it, but every one of them is unique because it's all natural horn, and it's really awesome razor. It's about a 5/8 round point razor, and pretty much 3/4 hollow grind. So really nice razor. So I'm going to go ahead and be using that, and I'll talk about the brush here. I'm going to go ahead and start lathering up. The brush I'm using today is this is a Semogue Owners Club 2-band brush, and I'll kind of talk about that a little bit as the shave goes on. But this is a brush I got when I really pretty early on when I first started wet shaving. I was into the Semogue brushes for a while. I really liked their boar brushes. I actually still do like their boar brushes, but I've kind of gravitated more towards the softer, denser badger brushes. I don't use my boar brushes that much anymore. And this is one I got early on because I was kind of into the whole Semogue thing. And I haven't probably used this brush in over a year. So I'm going to go ahead and use it today. Figure I'd give it a try. And see what I think of it. So this is the Semogue's 2-band brush, and it's 2-band badger hair, not a boar brush. And I think the reason I've kind of gotten away from this one being a favorite is because I've always found this brush to be a little bit prickly. It does have really nice density. And it's a nice brush, and if you like a little bit of scrubbiness, you'll probably would really enjoy this brush, but it's just not what I'm into these days as far as softness goes. It just kind of really is lacking in the softness department. So I'm just going to go ahead and lather up the soap. I used this yesterday, it's been a while since I've used any Stirling soaps, and I was really pretty impressed with the performance of the soap. It lathered up really nice. Pretty easy to get a good lather with it. And the lather was nice and slick, protective, and fairly moisturizing as well. I don't think I've ever purchased any soap from Stirling, but I have used a number of samples that people have sent me, and I've got sent to me over the years, and I've been actually quite impressed with it. But I do think I'm going to have to break down and get this one. I really do enjoy this this particular fragrance. You know, kind of being a little bit of a patchouli fan, this one kind of hits the sweet spot for me. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think that'll do the job here. Gonna rinse off the soap here and put it aside. Just gonna dry off my hands. Get the soap out of my ear. And here's what's left of my Razor Rock alum rock, pretty much down to the nub. And I'm just going to use that to kind of help with traction on the skin here. We'll go ahead and get started. I don't know what it is about the Fierce Starred razors, but even though they're hollow ground, the blade seems to be a little bit more sturdy than some of the hollow ground razors I've used. You don't really feel any, at least I don't really perceive any flex in the blade. Some of the other hollow ground razors that I have, at least full hollow ground razors, really feel kind of flexy. And they shave fine. It's just, I kind of find that feeling of the blade flexing is a little bit unnerving. So this blade being a little thicker or feeling a little more solid is a little bit more, at least for me, comforting to use. The first straight razor I got was a Dovo Black Star razor, which is a full hollow ground razor, and that one definitely has that flexy feel to it. And it's a fine shaver, but I just prefer the blade to feel a little more solid and not have that flex. So, all right. A bit better traction here. Go back to the alum block. The razor seems to be performing pretty well today. I did touch this up a little bit on my linen strop that has that's sprayed with the diamond spray. It's the 0.5 micron diamond spray that I have on that particular strop, and I gave it about 20 passes on that strop, and then I went ahead and strapped it on the buffalo hide leather strop. The strops that I use are from Straight Razor Designs. I like their strops. They're nicely made. The other thing that's kind of nice about them is that you can buy replacement leather and replacement linen and felt for them. So if you happen to damage the leather, you can always just buy the leather replacement piece and just put it back in there, and you don't have to worry about buying a new strop. Alright. Yeah, real nice. I'm really impressed with the soap. The slickness of the soap is nice. It seems to work really well with the straight razor. And it does leave a little bit of residual moisture on the face, so I have to keep going back to this alum block because even though I've shaved over the area, there's still some residual soap slickness there. So if there's any moisture on your fingers, it doesn't, it's a little bit tricky to get a good grip on the skin. And I've always found that on this side of my face it was hard to get against the grain going, using the razor this way. So I've actually found, I can't remember who I saw doing this, but I found that if I come over the top like this and pull the skin up, that I can get a good against the grain pass on my jawline there. I can just pull the skin up onto the flat there, and then just come back this way. And that seems to work pretty well. So anyways, there's the shave. Go ahead and put that aside. I'm just going to rinse my face off here real quick. Good. Now I'm just going to go ahead and dry off here. Well, the deal with this Semogue brush for me is that it is just a little bit too scrubby for my taste these days. When I got it, I liked it, but it was scrubby right from the get-go, and it's pretty much, that's just how it is. It's a well-made brush, solid. I don't think this thing's ever lost a hair. It's got really good density, and if you like kind of a scrubby, a little bit of a scrubby brush, this might be something that you would like. And I think these are pretty reasonably priced. I'm going to say they're under $100. I think they're about $75 or something with the exchange rate. Although I bought this several years ago, so prices might have gone up. I really honestly haven't looked at these for quite a while, but there it is. And I think you have two different wood choices. This one is the cherry wood, and there's another wood that I can't remember what it is right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little alum to my face real quick. Whenever I do a straight razor shave, I do like to apply some alum. You know, it has some antiseptic properties and it helps close the pores. I don't usually use alum after a DE shave, but after a straight razor shave, I'd like to use the alum. Plus, it does give you some feedback as to where you're pushing a little hard or whatever. And if you have any minor nicks or cuts or weepers, it'll usually seal those up pretty well. So today feels pretty good. I don't really have any hot spots. So very good. And I don't let that sit on my face. I usually will rinse that off after I apply it and then dry off my face. And for my aftershave today, I'm going to be using the Ginger's Garden Haight Ashbury. This is an awesome smelling shave product. I love their soap, and I love this aftershave as well. Now this is also a fairly patchouli heavy scent, but it has like kind of a sweeter, this is a sweeter patchouli with a kind of a, I almost want to say like a kind of a vanilla note to it. And I'm not sure if there's actually, if it's vanilla in here or if it's coumarin that's giving it that little bit of sweeter tone, but it's really nice. It also has menthol in it, which for me is a major plus. And the thing I like about the Ginger's Garden aftershaves is that they are kind of like an aftershave moisturizer all in one. You don't really need to use any sort of aftershave balm with this stuff. Now, some guys are not going to like this because it does have a lot of glycerin in it, and so it is somewhat tacky on the skin. And if you don't like that tacky feel, you're probably not going to like this. But if you don't mind that, and you like you just want a kind of one aftershave product that does it all, these Ginger's Garden aftershaves really are good. And that menthol in there really kind of wakes up your skin. It's got a really nice scent. So pairs nicely with the Glastonbury. I know there's a Glastonbury aftershave. I haven't tried that. I'm sure it's great. It's going to be more along those smoky lines, I'm sure. And for a cologne to pair with this, there are a lot of really great patchouli colognes out there. You know, just to name a few, like Tom Ford Patchouli Absolute is, you know, incredible. Just beastly longevity and projection. Nice smoky patchouli, but it is pretty darn expensive, so it's not really approachable to a lot of people unless you want to take out a small loan to buy it. Another good one, which also is expensive, is the Boyce 1920 Real Patchouli. Another really nice patchouli. It smells actually a little sweet when you first spray it on, but as soon as it starts to dry down, it becomes this nice smoky, woody patchouli. Another high-end one is the Guerlain Heritage. Really nice patchouli, a little bit on the sweeter end of things, but a more approachable patchouli-based cologne that is widely available in like Sephora and any of the major department stores is the Prada Amber Intense. And this is really good stuff. It's a little bit on the sweeter end. It has bergamot, myrrh, patchouli, vanilla, and sandalwood, and it is pretty darn awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and use that today, a couple of squirts of that. And anyway, so if you're looking for a good patchouli, if you like patchouli, you're looking for a good patchouli-based cologne that's fairly easily accessible. Check out the Prada Amber Intense. Really good stuff. So anyways, guys, that's the shave of the day. I know it ran a little long, sorry about that, but hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon. Bye.